Welcome back to BVarsity Live. Zach Ewing, Trevor Horn, and Vance Palm in the Bakersfield, Californian studios here for segment number 3. And joining us via telephone is Nick Papagni, the Pag Meter up in Fresno, who is the guru of Central Section football and all sports, really. Has his rankings out, has his Week 0 predictions out. Nick, how are you doing, man?
Hey, it's fantastic. I'm excited. Week 0. You got me fired up.
Yeah, we're all fired up, man. We have Wasco at North on our airwaves tomorrow. Where are you going to be tomorrow night?
Probably going to be at Buchanan and Edison.
Okay.
That's what the defending Valley champions look like.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. How about tonight? You going anywhere out for the few games on Thursday night?
You know, I thought about driving to Tulare, watch a little down somewhere, maybe somewhere in Visalia or Tulare, or I stay and watch Chavez play Roosevelt. Haven't decided yet.
You know, both
both
of those games are quite intriguing because you look at Chavez to see what they can do after, going deep in the D3. But then, sadly, that El Diamante story that came out yesterday about the junior on the football team passed away. Nick, that's a tough run to have for a team or anybody really have to deal with a player, committing suicide like that, especially, days leading up to the season.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate, and I don't even know what to say. We're not equipped for that. We try to lighten people's days up with sports, and then when you hear that, it's not supposed to happen in the sports world.
No. Yeah, Jace Tippett was a name, and certainly send our thoughts and condolences to the El Diamante family and to Jace's family over that unfortunate incident. But on the football field, Nick, I saw you had Liberty number 1, Clovis 2. The one I'm going to ask you about is Bullard at number 3. That's higher than I've seen them, but I know you know the Knights better than anybody, too. What do you see out of Bullard that makes you think Valley title contender?
Well, I got to tell you, they are loaded both sides of the ball. They're big, physical. They got speed. This is probably one of the best football teams Bullard's ever had in 50-plus years. That's how good they are.
Wow.
Donnie Arax is now the offensive coordinator. They're running, I call it the West Coast Wing T. And the quarterback, Jack Taylor. I look at the quarterback when I do rankings. What do we got coming back? This kid is so accurate. He loves that the wing T style. He's a great play-action passer already. And for me, if you're going to run a wing T, you better be able to throw out of it because eventually you're going to run into a defense that's going to stuff you. I saw it last year with CBC. I see all these teams, they just steamroll people, but then they play a defense with 11 on the other side, and they say, uh-oh, it's 3rd and 8. What do we do now? Well, Bullard can throw out of this wing T. They could also run it. I think they got one of the top 1 or 2 backs in the Valley with Charles Williams. They got a big offensive line. They got a defensive front it's amazing. I think the 3 best teams right now is Liberty, Clovis, and Bullard and Clovis are number 2. I got Liberty number 1. And after that, there's a little notch below those 3 teams. That's how good I think those 3 teams are coming in.
And, of course, you have Edison, the defending champion that you mentioned, and several other teams. Bakersfield High, I was going to ask you, number 6, that's lower than we've got them. I certainly see where you're coming from, though, especially when you talk about quarterbacks. You have those question marks about Kier Gregg or Caden Ochoa, whoever ends up starting for the Drillers.
Yeah, and it's pretty simple. If he can run, if they have to go back to the Wildcat or try to do some form of spread that they're not equipped with, I don't see them doing very well going into the playoffs. Where we all go, and they could be a 7-3 team. If they get a quarterback running that triple option, it's the most dangerous offense because with the speed of the quarterback, they're 9-0 or 9-1 or 10-0. That's how good. That's how different the offense is, and that's where I think I've never seen so many times this year that the X factor is the quarterback, and I would say 80% of the teams this year we have X factors playing the quarterback role. They could be off the charts great, they might not be, and there's a lot of teams in the same boat.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot actually of the 2011 Drillers team that nobody knew a whole lot about, and they went down south in a showcase to play an out-of-state team. I mean, there's a lot of similarities. And they just thumped Timpview out of Utah, and then ended up being undefeated. And we all got to know Chris Hannibal and Asani Rufus and those guys who ended up winning a state title a couple years later. This year, I'm not saying they're going to do that, but it does. We'll learn an awful lot about them. Put it that way. Saturday afternoon when they play Mountain Point, who's a very, very good Arizona team. Going into some lower divisions, Nick, give us a couple of sleepers in your book who maybe could surprise people and be their section championship weekend.
Well, it's hard to say they're sleepers, but I think Lemoore is going to be very good this year. And I'm just looking at Division II. Lemoore's, I got to watch them play and practice a few times, and they really impressed me. They got speed all over the place. We all know about Ridgeview, Tulare Union, probably the 1-2 that's going to be right there at the end. Lemoore could be right there. Dinuba, I got them, watched them play Bullard, and they got a long way to go. Bullard just thumped them. It was about 60-0, something like that. It wasn't even close. What a difference of D1 to D2 and D1 to D3. It is amazing. D3, I mean, it's going to be hard. I'd like to see what Memorial is going to do right now. They've dropped all the way down to D3, so they're going to be a contender in there. Of course, Hanford, to me, is the favorite. Mission Oaks is young. They got a lot of new faces on the front. Porterville, of course, we all know about their running attack with Jones. Memorial could be the sleeper. D4, boy, it's Golden West. To me, I've got them as a favorite going in. What do you see in D4? Because I think Liberty's going down soon. Their 18-game winning streak of Liberty Ranchos, I'm talking about, is going to go down soon. Chavez will be there at the end. Madera South could be the sleeper, and so is Chowchilla. Those are the two teams that they got fantastic quarterbacks. And Kerman, Sean Chambers, put your on the list. 6'2" kid. He's only a sophomore, and he's going to be good as the time goes.
Well, I will say that the one team in Kern County in Division IV that people have their eye on is Cesar Chavez, which lost to CVC by 3 points in the semifinals last year, and you'll see them tonight potentially against Roosevelt. And that's a team with Casey Quinn coaching that could make a run. I agree with you on Liberty Madera, although I still think by the end of the year they're the team that's going to be there. You mentioned maybe the winning streak ends at some point, but only 3 returning starters, but then shoot, a 10-0 JV team, a 10-0 Frosh Soft team, and it's not like the kids they have coming up are slouches.
Which team are you talking about?
Liberty Madera. I saw that they only had the 3 starters back from last year, which is a really shockingly low number. I mean, that's really low. But you got underclass kids who know what they're doing, too, coming up through that system. So,
well, what's funny is you go up to Sacramento and you look at that Folsom team that went to 16-0. They return 1 starter, and the Sacramento Bee still has them number 1 in their area. And then they're in the top 10 in the state across the board in Cal Preps and Max Preps and Cal High and all that kind of stuff. It's incredible when you look at what these teams can start building even at the freshman level.
Yeah, you're going to find out. Grant, I think, is ranked number 2 up north, and Bullard plays them in a few weeks.
Yep.
That's going to be a great matchup. Folsom, again, you never know who shows up. Those guys, I call them, that is as close as you're going to get to a private professional high school. They just seem to get every kid in town to show up because they're that good. And somehow they're all eligible from day one. We get one kid in every school, and it's red flags all over the place. They seem to get 10 or 12 or 15 kids show up. I don't get how it works. Our section's a lot different.
Actually, that's actually a lot different than – because I see that they suspend guys for entire seasons up there a lot more often. But, yeah, Folsom, they get a lot of great players up there. But, there was like a guy that went from Nevada Union to Colfax, 3-year starter for Nevada Union that used to be a powerhouse back in the 90s. And Sac Joaquin section said, nope, you can't play this entire year, senior year.
I'm going to have John start muting your mic when it gets to Northern California because you just dribble on.
D1, D3, and D5 are in NorCal this year, so we got to talk about it a little bit more.
Nick, probably the game of the week down here is Saturday night at Liberty. The Patriots playing Mission Viejo. I saw you pick the Patriots to win. We're going to make some picks in our last segment here, but give me your thoughts on that game. That's a game Liberty was able to win in Orange County last year and really gave the Central Section a boost. I think probably guaranteed with that win that whoever did end up winning the Central Section, which was Edison, was going to get into a regional bowl game. This year, of course, everybody gets in. But what's at stake for Liberty and for the section in that one?
Well, it's huge. I mean, anytime we play out a section, we all have to root for that team, and Liberty is that team. And if you look at Liberty's schedule compared to Clovis, I've got them number 2. They got it. I think they steamroll until they get to Clovis West. They easily can go 10-0 with their schedule. It's a very soft schedule. The track is down. Hate to say it, but you're going to hear it's top heavy this year with Clovis and Clovis West. Buchanan, I'll find out tomorrow. Central's way down. Clovis North is young. It's way down. And Clovis East is way down. So Clovis is going to have the road to get to that number 1 seed. So if Liberty wins tomorrow night, it is huge. I mean, their schedule is a lot tougher than Clovis. I think they're playing at home. I think the crowd's going to be fired up. I think Liberty's going to be fired up. And I just want to see if Mission Viejo is that good. I don't know. I mean, don't look at the 63-7 game over Baldwin. Baldwin's horrible. That team is horrible. That was a scrimmage. So I want to.
Yeah, that's exactly what Bob Johnson said today. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Good, so don't look at the score. No, I'm just saying. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a defensive game, but I think Jordan Love, that extra experience, that one extra year, he's going to be the man. He'll be the X factor in this game.
And Nick, we value your opinion a lot. And if you say the track's down, we believe you. It's top heavy. Maybe that means the SWYL champion, depending on who it is and what they do in the non-league portion, could have the road to a number 1 seed this year. But of course, you have Edison lurking there again. Edison's schedule is not so difficult that the Tigers couldn't go 9-1 or 10-0 again. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. Of course, they got to play Bullard, so that would be the big game in the CMAC. Nick Papagni, thepagmeter.com. If you want to check it out, he's got rankings, he's got predictions. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks, guys. And first of all, you guys did a fantastic job in your preview coverage. Second to none. You guys are first class. Way to go. Keep it up.
Thanks, Nick. We appreciate it. All right, we'll be right back. We got our last segment coming up. We're going to do some predictions. We might even have Vance give us some predictions, too.
Yeah.
All right, right back. After this.